Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. This afternoon I thought I'd talk about the quality of Saddha, which is faith or confidence or trust, and its opposite, Vicikiccha, the defilement of uncertainty or skeptical doubt. Saddha is one of the 5 spiritual faculties, the Indriya, and as such it's essential for progress on the path. As a spiritual faculty, Saddha is the complement of discriminating wisdom, meaning that the two should be in balance. Faith without wisdom is superstition, and discriminating wisdom without faith is said to be cunning, which is a disease as hard to cure as one caused by medicine. So it's important to clarify exactly what is meant by Saddha. Quality of faith is it's not blind faith or dogmatic belief. It's not superstition. It's having trust and confidence, a inner conviction. It's compared to having a map to guide one through the wilderness. And faith is deepened and strengthened by experience, but it is a leaping ahead of experience. So if we take this map analogy, if you are traveling in a strange place and you have a map that you've acquired, it's been given you or you bought it, you're not sure at the outset how accurate the map is. But if you're going to start out on the journey at all, you must have some degree of trust in the map. Then as you go along and you see that what you find on the actual country, the landmarks and the rivers and the roads and so on, correspond with what's on the map, your trust in the map deepens. And you begin to say, oh yeah, this is a good map. And you begin to have trust in those features that you have not yet reached. That, it's been right so far. It's probably going to guide me correctly. The Buddha's teaching has the Dhamma has one of the qualities that is listed as the attributes of the Dhamma is ehipassiko, which means come and see or check it out. This was the Buddha's claim that his teaching could stand examination in this way. Ehipassiko, come and see. Check it out, examine it for yourself in your own experience and your own contemplation. And as we experience more of the Dhamma, then our faith in the Dhamma strengthens and deepens. Another attribute of this quality of Saddha is found in the Upanishad Sutta, which has been called the transcendental dependent arising. It's a examination of progression of mental states leading out of suffering into awakening. And from the position of suffering and dukkha, the very next state that leads out, that breaks the loop of the ordinary dependent arising and puts one on the path to awakening, is saddha, faith. This is a very profound point. One aspect of this is that you have to have at least some degree of faith to even begin on the path. If you don't have any faith, then there's no point. You're not going to even start. And another side of this is that for a being who's immersed in a state of suffering, it's not really possible for that being to rouse up any other more refined states of illumination. But they can have faith. It's like the beginning, the first glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel. They have faith, then that can carry you forward. And faith leads, the next state it leads to is pamoja, joy. There's an opening in the heart that the person has now hope that there's a way out of this. And that leads to a lightening of the mind, a brightening, and a happiness. And it's the emergence from a state of suffering. I'd also say that the quality of saddha is really an important, crucial dimension in making progress on the path, and developing deeper spiritual states of mind and insight. And it seems to be the determining factor of whether a person is going to have good results and make progress in their meditation or not, is a degree of faith. They have to have confidence, they have to trust that it's going to be of value, it's going to work. Without faith, as soon as it becomes a bit difficult, the person gives up, abandons the path. But faith is what keeps you going when everything else fails. So an obvious question that arises is, what is it we are advised to have faith in? The traditional answer is Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, but I think we can narrow the focus a bit if we consider what is the essential point. If we take the Dhamma to be the teaching of the Buddha encapsulated in the Four Noble Truths, and consider the Four Noble Truths, the first truth is the truth of suffering, and the second truth is the truth of the origin of suffering, which is craving. These two truths deal with the mundane, ordinary experience of human beings, and they are readily accessible by life experience and by honest reflection. You don't require faith to understand or accept the first two noble truths. They're right there in our life. We experience them, and if we're honest with ourselves and reflect clearly, we can see that. And the fourth noble truth, the truth of the path leading to the end of suffering, is certainly accessible to reason. You can see that these are precepts and ways of practice that make sense, that are good ethical advice and good advice for spiritual practice. And it's easily verified, the reasonable acceptance of it is easily verified by practice. We see that, yes, if we follow the Eightfold Path, things become better for us. So I don't think you really need faith as such for those three truths. But the third noble truth is the truth of the end of suffering, which is the unconditioned, nibbana. And that is not accessible to reason. And that is completely out of experience of the ordinary person in the world. So it's something that's, to begin with, only accessible by faith. Only can be accepted on faith. There's no way to prove it or to rationalize it, and it's not experienced by the ordinary person at the outset. The unconditioned is, in fact, completely inexpressible by words because it's not conditioned. So it's not accessible to a rational explanation. It's something utterly outside of our ordinary experience, which is entirely conditioned. So it's something that is completely in the domain of faith. That is until the moment of stream entry. When one reaches the state of a sotapanna, then there is a glimpse of the unconditioned, and the faith is confirmed and made solid. And it's said that the stream winner has perfect faith. The saddha of the stream winner is perfect because the reality of the unconditioned is no longer susceptible to any doubt. And it's this faith that gives you the courage and the strength to go on. The far shore at the outset is not glimpsed. It's not known, but we have faith that it's there. The opposite of saddha is the defilement of vicikiccha, which is uncertainty. It's also translated sometimes as skeptical doubt. And again, we need to be clear about what this actually means. The mind that has the defilement of vicikiccha is a mind that wavers, that's uncertain. There's an element of craving involved. The mind wants to get an answer, and it vacillates between A and B. It doesn't settle. And this is a restlessness and a craving in the mind that is experienced as uncertainty or doubt. And we have to distinguish this kind of doubt, vicikiccha, from what might also be called in English a form of doubt, and an openness of mind, and not knowing. This is not what's meant. There is a saying in a proverb in Zen Buddhism: little doubt small enlightenment, big doubt, great enlightenment. You know? And this kind of doubt that's referred to here is not Wicikitcha. There's a attribute of mind of having an open mind, you know, being free of fixed view, and being able to hold an open question mark. You know? This is a very useful state of mind to have. One of the perils of the spiritual path, one of the traps that uh, you can fall into, is having a false certainty. The temptation arises to feel yourself, more clever by half. You've got it figured out. You can put a name on a label on it, and if you can name it in Sanskrit or Pali, you're double points, you know. And you think you've got it figured out, you can put it away, and that's a sure way to stop any further growth or exploration in that direction. Because now you have the answer, you don't have to explore any further. The progress is made in the spiritual life not by finding pat answers, but by having profound questions. Holding the question open in the mind allows further growth and exploration. And if you can hold that kind of big D doubt, we could call it, in the mind, then there can be endless unfolding. Then you'll often find that progress takes the form of a spiral. And you go over the same ground again, but at a higher level. And there's further unfolding, further understanding. As long as you keep the mind open, with the sense there's more to learn here, there's more to know, there's more to discover. So I'd go a little further and say that this kind of doubt, the open-mindedness or the question mark, actually requires a very strong faith. You have to have faith to be able to hold this kind of doubt. There's faith and courage to be comfortable with the unknown. To head forth into unknown territory. Now that takes a great deal of trust, confidence, faith to be able to go forward with not knowing. And this is the way you can make progress. This is the way you can break new ground. You can keep going forward.
And Mayam Dhamma Kataya Sadhu Karam Dhanamase Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu